I'm your host with the most, Logan 23. You're joining me for Edge of Extinction, Episode 5. Your mind is still reeling from Grace's unexpected pronouncement. If we can get to the Svalbard Seed Vault, we can save humanity. The others are just as stunned as you. Murmurs of surprise and disbelief ripple through the pews. I know this is a lot to process, but the Svalbard Seed Vault is our best chance for a safe and stable future. You say that like we are supposed to know what you're talking about. I've never even heard of this Seed Vault. Neither have I, calmed down Paul. I've heard of it. Neither have I. It'd be nice to know more before we make a decision. In 2008, an international group called the Global Crop Trust built the vault as an insurance policy against catastrophic crop failures. It's a massive seed repository located under a permafrost on Spitsbergen Island. Over 100 countries sent seeds there for storage and safekeeping. They have samples of virtually every known crop in the world. The hope was that if a specific crop ever went extinct, from drought or disease or war, the seeds in the vault could be used to regrow and replenish it. But the seed's still there. What are we waiting for? But the crops aren't extinct. We can still grow crops. They've just become toxic. That's true. If we can plant new seeds, they'll become contaminated like everything else. But I think it might be possible to find a way to use uncontaminated samples in the vault to breed toxin-resistant crops. And while Joseph works to find a solution, we could use some of the seeds to grow crops inside the vault. If we keep them quarantined from the outside world, we could create a safe and sustainable supply of food. I'm hearing a lot of possible and maybe in this plan. I admit it's a long shot. Even getting there is a challenge. Spitsbergen Island is 1,000 kilometers away, across one of the roughest and most dangerous stretches of ocean in the world. We're all used to danger. At least some of us. Everyone here is a survivor of the greatest disaster to ever befall humanity. I think we can handle this. You vouch for the group's toughness. You hear whispers from the crowd, but you can't tell if people are agreeing or not. We understand the risks. This isn't something we'd attempt during the winter. We'd have to wait for the spring thaw before we even think about setting sail. At least another 2 months. But that gives us time to get ready, find a boat, stockpile supplies. And it gives time for Mari to have her child here in the warmth and safety of the church. You really think you can find a cure? I think so, yes. My team was working on a cure when the collapse came. We were still a long way off, but we'd made some progress, and we didn't have any uncontaminated samples. That's why getting to the seed vault is so important. It gives me us a chance to fix this. Now, what does everyone think? I'd like to hear from the rest of the group.
We can't stay here forever. Eventually, we'll run out of food. We'll have to move on. I don't want a life of endless wandering. No home, no real future. We deserve better.
I agree. If there's any chance if Joseph can find a cure, we have to try. Abel and Hildy both try to chime in with their opinions, and a second later everyone is talking over each other in different languages. And then Mari stands up, slowly comes to the front of the church. Everyone falls silent at her unexpected boldness.
After baby is born, I want to go to Seed Vault to find a cure.
The young woman suddenly seems acutely aware that all eyes are on her, and her gaze drops self-consciously to the floor. Grace steps forward and puts her hands protectively on Mari's shoulders. It's time for a vote. Think carefully before you cast your ballot. We all know what is at stake. I vote yes. Grace and Joseph pass out the ballots. You mark your answer, turn it in quickly, excited by the prospect of going to the seed vault. Most of the others do the same, though a few silently deliberate for a few minutes before handing in their ballots. Grace and Joseph count quickly before Grace turns and addresses the group. Looks like we're all in agreement. This spring, we will journey to Svalbard Global Seed Vault on Spitsbergen Island. Spontaneous cheers rise up, and you realize how badly the group needed a purpose to help it cope with Luis's death. The next few days are a flurry of planning and activity. Although the trip to Svalbard is months away, there's so much to do, starting with finding a boat. Grace chooses you to join her at the docks in search of a suitable vessel. Her decision speaks to your growing status within the group. And if she plans to kill you, the two of you set out in the early morning beneath a clear, cold blue sky. As always, Shadow goes with you. I have a confession to make. I didn't bring you out here to find a boat. Called it. Getting to Svalbard won't be easy. We all need to be on the same page. You've proved how valuable you are to the group, and I'm going to rely on you a lot going forward, just like I rely on David. David isn't the easiest person to get along with. Fortunately, I think you've managed to win him over. Good to know. I think this will be easier if we all get along. That's an understatement. It took a while for David to find his place in the group. Sometimes he just rubs people the wrong way. Yes, I'm David! But he works his ass off. He goes on more patrols and works more guard shifts than anyone else. Honestly, I think he's trying to impress me. I think he has a bit of a crush on me. You don't feel the same way? Feel like his feelings aren't being reciprocated. I like David, but only as a friend. I made it clear where we stand right from the start. There haven't been any issues, although he has gotten worse since the polar bear attack. He's become a little overprotective. Even tried to talk me out of this mission. Said he was worried I wasn't ready to head back out into the field yet. Well, why didn't he come with you? I'm surprised he didn't insist on joining us. Oh, he tried, but the last thing I need is him out here watching over me like some overprotective parent. I'm a soldier. I did 2 tours in Afghanistan. And thus why I saved Joseph instead of diving for her, because she was a soldier and Joseph wasn't. I'm not gonna just sit on the sidelines, especially not now that we're headed for Svalbard. Grace picks up her pace and forges ahead, putting an end to your conversation until you reach the docks. Most of the slips are empty. Snow and ice cover the docks and a few dozen abandoned boats that remain. During the early days of the collapse, hundreds of ships fled to the open sea, hoping to escape the illness ravaging humanity. But the collapse wasn't an infection, spread from person to person, and the stores on board were just as contaminated as those on land. Ultimately, the infected passengers and crew died at sea. Their vessels of salvation turned into floating mausoleums. Keep an eye out for something large enough to carry us all, but small enough we can crew her effectively. You wander the docks until Grace stops in front of a medium-sized fishing trawler with a Polar Wonder painted on the bow. Well, this looks promising. Go on board. Might as well check her out. Grace leads you on through inspection of the vessel before pronouncing it seaworthy. She seems to know what she's talking about. Your mission successfully completed, the two of you start to head back to the church. Just as you're leaving the docks, a gust of wind springs up and you hear a loud metal clank from somewhere in the distance. Grace instantly drops to one knee and brings her rifle up to her eye, scanning your surroundings intently. Following Grace's lead, you pull out your own weapon. Shadow crouches beside you, growling softly as she absorbs your nervous energy. After a few seconds, Grace stands up and slings her rifle back over her shoulder. Sorry, when I heard that sound, I thought... Well, I'm not sure what I thought. There's something off about this place. It almost feels like we're being watched. Watched? You think someone's spying on us? Wouldn't be the first time, would it? You spied on us. It wouldn't be hard for someone to follow us without being noticed. Or maybe I'm being too paranoid, honestly. I can't tell anymore. She stands motionless for a long moment listening, and she looks down at Shadow, who is sitting calmly beside you. It's probably nothing. Come on, the others will be anxious to hear what we found. Back at the cathedral, Grace shares her discovery with the rest of the group. You now have a ship to make the journey to Svalbard. Hopes are clearly high for the future. But later that evening, after everyone has gone to bed, you hear someone calling softly outside your tent. You crawl out to find Joseph and David waiting for you. From their expressions, it's clear something is bothering them. Sorry to wake you, John. We need to talk. Grace told me she felt like someone was watching you down at the docks. I think I felt it too. Something was off while we were at the docks. You aren't the only ones who felt something strange. A few days before you showed up, I was on supply run with Sophia. I saw a face staring at us through a window, bearded man. Sophia thought I was seeing things. I wanted to investigate, but it was getting dark. By the next morning, I'd convinced myself Sophia was right. Now, I'm not so sure. I don't think we're alone. Tromstad's big enough that there might be other survivors here.
But what would they want to stay hidden from us? That's what worries me.
We haven't said anything to Grace yet. We don't want to alarm her unnecessarily if it turns out to be nothing. We need to investigate. Sitting here speculating isn't doing us any good. We need to find out the truth.
Joseph and I are going to go back out to where we saw the bearded man in the window. We're heading out now. If we go under the cover of darkness, hopefully he won't know we're coming until we get there.
I don't think there's any real danger. If he meant to harm us, he probably would have tried something by now.
But we want to know where we're going, just in case. If we don't make it back for some reason, you have to let Grace know what happened.
I would have asked you to come, but you were out at the docks all day. You should stay here and rest. Be careful. If there's someone out there who doesn't want to be found, he might not appreciate your visit.
If Grace wakes up, try to keep her distracted. I don't want her to know we slipped off without telling her.
Come on, we have to get moving if we want to get back before morning. David and Joseph head off to get their gear. A few minutes later, they slip out of the door and disappear into the night. You spend the next few hours restlessly wandering the church, waiting for them to return. Lingering dread sits like a cold stone in your stomach. You have no idea what you'll say to Grace if she wakes up, or if David and Joseph don't come back. You start to wonder if you made a terrible mistake in letting them go in this crazy mission. It's getting close to the time when the others normally wake up when the door to the church opens and Joseph and David walk in. What did you find? Don't keep me in suspense.
There's someone out there. We didn't see him, but we found the campsite near the building where Joseph saw the face in the window.
I think whoever was there saw us coming and took off before we found him.
Left a bunch of supplies behind. Batteries, blankets, bullets. Didn't see any food, though. There was only one bed. I think he's alone.
We left a note in several languages inviting him to come to the cathedral. Not sure if it'll do much good. We need to inform everyone. Someone should talk to Grace. We need to figure out what to do next.
I'll tell her. They'll probably be pissed we snuck off, but she'll get over it.
Later that morning, Grace calls a meeting of the entire group to discuss the situation. If she's upset about Joseph and David sneaking off alone to investigate, she doesn't let it show. We recently discovered evidence of another survivor here in Tromstad. We think it's just one survivor living alone, but we know the survivor has been watching us for some time. We tried to make contact to invite him into the group, but it seems he prefers to keep his distance, at least for now.
So that's it? We just sit around while the hermit stalks us? No! We need to find this person.
I think hunting this person like animals is a bad idea. It would scare him off or provoke a violent reaction. I agree with Joseph. There's no evidence this person is a threat. We already take plenty of security precautions, guards at night, patrols in pairs. I say we just keep doing what we're doing. Stay vigilant, bide our time. Eventually, he'll come to us if we're patient.
No, we can't just wait. We need to hunt the hermit down. I say we put it to a vote.
Of course, we always do. Joseph and David pass out the ballots. After considering your options, you vote to be patient. You don't see any point in forcing a confrontation. Fortunately, most of the others agree. It's decided the vote is 9-2 in favor of waiting for Survivor to make contact. But then the question of the Survivor settled. For now, anyway, the group's focus shifts back to the journey to the Svalbard seed vault. The promise of a brighter future, one in which Joseph has created crop-resistant to deadly toxins, seems to have energized the entire group. No matter what the day is far in the distance. Over the next week, the ship you and Grace found is thoroughly inspected, clean, stocked with supplies. You and Shadow find yourself with Anna on one of the supply runs. You each carry a rifle as you drag a full sled behind you to the docks. Wow, I'm looking older. You've barely said a word since we left the church.
Sorry, I guess I'm just nervous. Knowing that this hermit could be spying on us right now is a little unsettling.
I got your back. We just have to stay alert and aware of our surroundings, and we'll be fine.
You're probably right. I already voted for this. I didn't want us to hunt the hermit down. But now I wonder if I voted that way because I didn't want to side with Pavel. Things are getting worse between us. I even asked Grace not to send me on patrol with him anymore.
Maybe you should end it. If things are that bad, why are you still with him?
I don't know. Momentum, fear of being alone, but it's not enough anymore. It's like we have nothing in common. Nothing that matters, at least. And his obsession with having children is getting worse. He keeps thinking he can convince me, but I don't think I'll change my mind.
I get distracted, okay? Sounds like a difficult situation. Good luck with that, but right now we need to focus on the mission.
Right. I need to keep busy, but that should keep me from dwelling on my problems with Pavel.
You set off for the shipyard, Santa setting a brisk pace. It doesn't take long before you're sweating from exertion. Whoa, slow down. This isn't one of your races. We need to pace ourselves.
Sorry. Before the collapse, I used to throw myself into training whenever I felt stress. These old habits die hard.
I thought that's why you took those nighttime ski trips.
I gave those up. Didn't seem safe with the hermit out there. But skiing is only half of the biathlon. It's the target shooting I really miss.
Can't you do that anytime?
I can't be firing my rifle over and over around the cathedral. I'd have to find somewhere away from the others. And it's no fun shooting alone. Pavel used to challenge me, but he got tired of losing, so I don't bother anymore.
I'll go with you sometime. Target shooting sounds like fun, unless you're scared to beat you.
Good luck with that. Olympic gold medal favorite, remember? Still, it sounds like fun. We'll have to try and set something up after we get back. Come on, let's get this sled to the boat and unload the supplies.
You and Anna continue towards the dock. Shadow runs around you in large circles to burn off energy, seemingly annoyed at your casual pace. At the docks, the husky rushes off ahead, disappearing from view behind a large tanker. Suddenly you hear her barking furiously. You sling your rifle over your shoulder. Following your lead, Anna does the same. Shadow's barking suddenly stops. You listen but hear nothing.
We need to check this out, but be careful.
The two of you creep forward until you see Shadow just outside the ship. The husky's crouched low, growling at something is sitting on the dock.
What is that?
Beheaded wolf? As you draw near, a grisly scene comes into focus. A dead wolf is lying on the dock, and its body sliced open and its innards splayed out. The head has been removed and stuck on a short spike just outside the gangplank, leading up to the boat. You see black tendrils of smoke creeping up from the lower deck of the boat. A second later, you see flames shooting out. Anna screams out in dismay, rushes towards the burning ship.
There's fire extinguishers on board, hurry!
Help her put out the fire. You race after Anna, and on the ship, you each grab one of the fire extinguishers and charge down the steps to the lower deck. Coughing and choking on the black smoke, you point the fire extinguisher at the flames and squeeze the trigger. Nothing happens. You realize they've been sabotaged, and you scream for Anna to get out. You turn back towards the stairs, only now realizing they've been doused in gasoline. The accelerant catches, the stairs are instantly engulfed in flames. You throw your arm over your face and make a desperate dash through the fire. But the heat and smoke overwhelm you, you collapse in screaming, searing agony. You have perished. Okay, alright. I'm gonna hold Anna back. Reach out and grab Anna by the waist. She tries to rush past, tackling her into the ground. No, it's too dangerous. Clearly I died in an alternate timeline. Anna briefly struggles against you, but you don't let go. Within seconds, the flames rise up and engulf the ship. So, that little hermit's a prick. Two of you watch in numb horror as the vessel burns. As the heat increases, you both stand up and back away.
I can't believe how fast it went up.
Luckily, we weren't on board. There's no way we could have stopped this, but at least nobody got hurt.
Thanks to you. I don't know what I was thinking.
Scan your surroundings as the boat continues to burn, but whoever did this is long gone. Eventually, the damage from the fire is too much, and the boat lifts onto its side. It slowly sinks beneath the water, extinguishing the flames.
Oh my god, the saber-toothl's head. There's something in its mouth.
Kneeling on one knee, you pull out a tightly folded piece of paper that was stuffed in the wolf's jaw. The note, I can't read it. Looks like it's in Norwegian. Pass the note to Anna, she scans it, then shakes her head.
It must be some other dialect. I can't read it. This had to be the hermit, right?
Whoever it was will pay. I don't care who is responsible, I just want to make them pay for what they did.
It's almost dark. Let's head back to the cathedral. Hopefully one of the others can translate the note.
Grab the supply shed and head for home, leaving behind the sunken wreckage of the ship and your plans to get to the seed vault. Best friend, neutral, disliked, still disliked.
Luis! No! Luis, no! Luis.
Well, without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down in the description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you'd like to support me and my content, hey, consider hitting that bell icon to receive notifications, and consider hitting the join button. That way you can become a part of Locum's Locos, and it's a great way of showing support to the community as well. And without further ado, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace!